Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. Today on Ask the American, I'll answer questions from Tom in the United States. He writes in, "Hey Scott, not sure if this is touched upon on your website or not. Maybe you can do an Ask the American on it." Here I am. As I think about coming to Thailand, one of the negatives has to be the health issues. There are things I worry about like dengue fever, malaria, and poisonous creatures. In addition, can I find good and cheap short-term medical care if I only plan on being there 3 to 4 months on my first trip? If you can comment on the above, that would be great. Have you ever had dengue fever or anything like that? What have been your biggest health issues in Thailand? What about running into poisonous anything? Maybe I worry too much about this, but not having to deal with this before scares the crap out of me. Thank you, Tom. Okay, listen, malaria and dengue fever, yeah, you got to worry about them. But, you know, you don't leave water laying around in your front balcony or whatever, sitting stagnant. There are things you can do to minimize the risk. If you're going anywhere where you think there's a lot of mosquitoes, you spray some DEET on, wear long sleeve shirts, whatever. I don't really have a problem with mosquitoes now. I don't know why. I don't usually have them. In the States I do. Maybe the smell is different or something and they like me more in the States. But when I first came here, I caught dengue fever and it was nasty. I had it for, well, I was shacked up in my I think I was staying in a hotel because I was just visiting or something in Bangkok from up in Udon. But I was shacked up for 5 days straight where I could, and finally I had to have somebody come with a wheelchair because I was right next to the hospital. Somebody came with a wheelchair and wheeled me over to the hospital, and then I got IVs and medicine and everything like that, and then I was okay. But it was nasty. So of course you got to worry about it, but you know, what are you going to do? You're not going to come to Thailand because, oh, I'm scared of the mosquitoes? I mean, you know, you can get bit in the U.S. too, and you can get dengue fever in the U.S., just it happens to be more prevalent here in Southeast Asia. As far as the poisonous creatures, well, I've known of 2 instances where guys have run into cobras in Bangkok, but this is in almost 20 years. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. We had 2 snakes. We saw 2 snakes at our old house, and neither one of them was poisonous. When I went to the Muay Baran, what is it called? What do they call that place? The ancient city in Bangkok. My kids and I were just standing there, and all of a sudden we noticed over to the side that there was a snake eating a lizard, and I have a video of it actually on my channel. It turned out that was a venomous tree snake. It wasn't very venomous. It kills little insects with its venom, but there are poisonous creatures. I would say that more than likely, unless you go out somewhere like towards southern Thailand in the southern direction, you're not going to have a problem with snakes. But if you go out towards the jungle or the rougher area into the forest or something like that, you should wear boots, and you don't go reaching into dark places under logs or whatever. And you don't, if you see a snake, just leave them alone. Just back off or just stay still. Don't bother them. Don't try to catch them. Don't try to cut their head off, because that's how normally people get bit. There are some gnarly snakes in Southeast Asia, but also Thailand. There are kraits, pit vipers, and cobras, of course. These are some nasty, nasty snakes. These snakes, when they bite you, the venom can do damage. So you do want to be careful. But again, I wouldn't let it stop me from coming to Thailand. As far as my biggest health issue, well, nowadays it's just my health, old age and health. That's really all my health issues. So I need to eat a little better. I need to exercise more, the usual stuff. So I hope I answered your questions. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok โชคดีและเจอกันใหม่